Hey all, how you doing today? CVMG coming back at you with a little bit more Madtale Idle RPG. Now we're all in the beginning of the game, or we should at least be in the early phases, so I think it's about that time to give you the top 5 free-to-play carries. What a carry is, for those of you that don't know, is a character that you essentially put most of your resources into in the beginning of the game to set them at a higher level than the rest of your teammates so that they can carry you through a lot of the content. Now that all of my team is level 100, I'm going to have to start relying on the partners that have been promoted, but all the way up until this point, just one single character can carry you here. Starting in on number 5, we're going to have Cinderella. Now Cinderella is an area of effect damage dealer, but she also boasts counterattack. Now just like Holder on Infinite Magic Raid, whenever an enemy attacks her, she has a chance to counterattack, but the way that she works is hers is an innate passive with a large chance to trigger. Okay, now this is the part where we're going to start delving into their weapon skills too, because yes, the characters in this game do have weapon skills and you should be taking that into account. Not only does she have the innate counterattack, but whenever you unlock this weapon, she gets self-healing every single time she counterattacks. Plus that ultimate is an area of effect bleed, so not only do you have burst damage, you also have damage over time. She covers nearly every single role a damage dealer could cover. Our number 4 is going to be this Mermaid Princess. Now with the way the secrets work in this game, there's a set bonus that allows you to essentially cast your skill on turn 1. Her ultimate is an area of effect attack that has a chance to stun everybody hit. So this is one of those characters that you can sort of manipulate the RNG in these idle games and just replay the same stage over and over until you get your ideal stun. This, coupled with the fact that she shrinks enemies to make them deal less damage to her, makes her a really good candidate to carry. But also delving into that weapon skill, whenever she shrinks an enemy, if they attack her, she restores 20% of her max HP. So as a carry, it's likely that she will sometimes be the last character on the battlefield. So if you have 3 enemies that are shrunken and they attack her, there you go, you just instantly restored 60% of her max HP. In these idle games, you gotta kind of think outside the box. Now there's a lot of enemies and a lot of stages that need to be stunned, and this is going to be a great character to help you get past those walls. The stun helps you get past walls your strength isn't ready for, because if you're lucky enough, you could stun everybody, and then that's an entire round for your entire team. Next up is going to be Snow White. Now the reason I have Snow White here is because she comes with the ultimate sweep gimmick just incorporated into a passive. For nearly every game, a player can benefit from defense breaking an enemy and attack buffing their team. What that does is essentially makes you do twice as much damage to the enemy. It's rare enough to find a unit with an attack buff, and it's rare enough to find a unit with a defense break, but she does both of them innately without any sort of prerequisite required. So let me break down the scenario for you. You send her in the battle, turn 1, front line, right? All the enemies attack her, whatever. She gets down to half HP. Okay, she's down to half HP. She triggers the attack buff for herself. She triggers the defense break for the enemies, and then you come in with this ultimate attack that just sweeps everybody. I've done it like 100 times. And if you choose to use her as a supporting carry, that might be even better, because whenever she dies, she grants a plethora of buffs to your team and debuffs to the enemy to set up that main carry. Next, at number 2, I'm going to go ahead and recommend Princess Ambition. Especially for the early game, this is going to be an ideal candidate to carry you through a bunch of those tough stages. Because let's be real, there's going to be times whenever you get crowd controlled and stunned by the enemy in a chain and you don't even get a chance to move. Well, in that case, she passively deals burn damage to the target anyway, so you don't even have to cast a skill to start dealing damage. There's also a very low skill ceiling required to manage characters like this because they only have 1 attack. She literally has 3 passives. When have you ever seen a character with 3 passives and been like, oh, that sucks? Now, damage over time, damage over time, damage over time. We've been talking about damage over time over and over all week. So damage over time is very prevalent in this game. She has a bonus effect that whenever she receives damage over time, she just restores 100% of her attack as HP to herself. And in a less desirable situation where you don't have as much control, you at least have a lot of backup without needing to control the character at all. Alright, now before we get into my number 1 recommended free-to-play carry, I'm going to go ahead and throw down some honorable mentions. Number 1 is the Frog Traveler. He simply does more damage than any other character in the game, but unfortunately he relies on crit damage, which means you need a very high crit rate to take advantage of that. Having a high crit rate around 80 or 85% is ideal, and you don't really reach a crit rate like that until in-game whenever you have 6-star secrets. And Puss in Boots is unfortunately in that exact same situation where he would be an ideal candidate if you didn't need a very high crit rate in order to take advantage of his kid. And now, the minute that you've all been waiting for, my number 1 free-to-play carry recommendation is going to be the Hook Gun Hunter. Now up until this point, we've been talking about characters having heals within their paragenetic weapon. The Hook Gun Hunter needs none of that. He has innate healing built into his ultimate and built into his basic attack, so every single turn he will be healing himself. He also comes with some pretty nice defenses, so you don't have to worry about him getting melted in the beginning of the game. Also, as your carry, you can expect him to be dealing a lot of killing blows, which helps with this passive that increases his attack by 20% for 3 rounds anytime he kills somebody. This insane survivability, coupled with decent damage, is ideal for blasting through the beginning of the game, thus why the Hook Gun Hunter is my number 1 recommended free-to-play carry. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please feel free to subscribe and join my Discord, but other than that, y'all, that's gonna do it for me today, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.